Hi, my name is Mary Marshall, and I'm the author of The Great Culture Disconnect. And one of my favorite topics is to talk about intentional versus unintentional culture. Intentional culture in a business is driven by values, and values define everything that you do in the business. Consider it the kitty bumpers on the bowling alley to make sure that you don't get a gutter ball in your business. And what happens is business owners start a business, get their money, get their strategy, get their people, and off they go. Generally, they have mission, vision, values at the heart of it. Where are we going is the vision, mission, what are we here for, and values, who are we? And those are all well defined starting out in the beginning. And the first few employees, they're introduced to it. They're like, yes, this is why we're here. Great, let's go. And then after the business is in business for a little while, those kind of things get sort of shoved to the side. And if we don't continue to hire to those values, suddenly we get people in the business that don't share those values. And before you know it, you suddenly have people who are unaligned with the values of the organization. And now you have an unintentional culture. You as the leader are the steward of that culture. And if you take your eye off of the road when you're building your business and you hire people that do not share the values that you do and that you started the business with, suddenly you have an unintentional culture. Culture is always present in a business. It's either the one that you thought when you started the business or when you took over as CEO, or it's one that is completely unintentional and you have no idea how this happened. And it sort of happens slowly but suddenly. So business starts out great, everybody's aligned, hire a couple people in because you really needed this talent. And you thought, oh, it's okay. I'm going to ignore some of the things about this particular employee. Well, now that employee is what we call a cultural misfit. They don't fit with everybody else. Well, what happens to cultural misfits? They don't like being alone, right? So they're going to engage a few other people in the organization. And before long, now you have cultural terrorists, right? So they're trying to realign the culture based on their values, not on your values. Now you have basically warring values going on in the organization, and you have a completely unintentional culture. A lot of times when I go in to help CEOs, the first thing they say is like, oh my gosh, you have to help me with this particular employee, or this employee is doing that, or this employee is doing that. And I'm like, well, so what are the values of the organization? And, they'll rattle off a few of them to me. And I'm like, well, is that employee behaving aligned with your values? Well, of course not. Well, what have you done about it? Nothing. Guess what? Now you have a complete unintentional culture. Now you have a problem because you have cultural misfits, you have cultural terrorists, and you have to start getting rid of some of them. So in my book, we talk about how you do that, how you start by hiring, and then how you can weed some people out and get the boat back on track.